Alright, so we're gonna do it this way then. I'm getting mad. I am getting mad. So now you're on the handheld camera because the phone's pissing me off. I'm gonna say what I need to say right now. So, you know, I'm driving to work. I just got dressed. I'm getting ready. I'm going to work. I got a commute ahead of me. I'd rather be listening to my music right now and relaxing my brain than having an event and get this stuff out of my system. You know, I'm gonna make a few statements before I go on my fucking tangent here. As far as my YouTube channel goes, it takes a lot of thought for me to really decide what I'm doing with that, and I've got multiple channels. You know, everybody knows that I'm actually talking to, knows that I'm doing the fish thing with the fish, and that's what I want to do, is the fish. And I think about the life that I live. I am an activist. And I do care about my community, and I do care about the people that are around me, and I do care about the world that I'm living in. And I do think that there is reason to want conditions to improve for the general public, and I do want conditions to improve for the general public. And I gotta admit that right now, it is 2018, right now it's February, it's the beginning of February, and I'm pretty fucking disgusted and angered at the way that people are treating each other. And that includes the way people are treating me. So I guess I am going to say something about it. So, you know, I don't want to, I find that when I get on the camera and I start talking, it's because I'm pissed off. But a good chunk of the reason too is because I do nothing but constant research and trying to figure out, why am I having the problems that I'm having? How do I fix these problems? And then I get really pissed off when shit goes sour. But there's intelligence behind that, and maybe it's time to speak. It's really hard to determine when it's time to speak, because speaking is not what I want to do. So I already cammed up 3 times because I've got an iPhone 4, which, as you know, they're under lawsuit for freaking programming their software in a way that makes the phone unusable. So yeah, I need to upgrade my phone. So you're on the camera right now. So unfortunately, this is not a live stream. If I can get to live streaming, that would make me feel better, because then I could just get it out of my system, get the hell off, and it'll be published. But I don't like that being the public face that I put on, is coming out when I'm raging angry about something and spitting it all out, where it seems like the person that I am is one who bitches. Because when it really comes down to it, the person that I am is a person who typically stays really quiet, observes what's going on around me, and does what I can to create peace around me, and do kind deeds and work for my community and work to improve my own living conditions. So when it comes to my time budget too, I really don't have a lot of time to be sitting here and, you know, working on video editing and all that stuff. Like, I get off work, I come home, and I study textbooks, trying to increase my education, which I have a whole video that I need to re-edit, that I spent hours trying to edit because the formatting on my crappy software wasn't working right, about how I got screwed over by the college. So that needs to go up. And we need, as a community, you guys, we really just, for those of you who are struggling, you do need to realize that there are ways in which the system is stacked against you, and stop trying to live in this la-la land and buy into the bullshit of the naysayers who want to do victim blaming. And that's what the topic is today, is victim blaming and victim shaming, and I'm getting fucking sick of it. So the reason why I'm camming up right now is because if you know me, I'm going to state it if you don't. I am one of the 3% of women in the construction workforce. So 3% of workers in the construction industry are female. And even though I'm a female, I'm not the only one in the industry who's facing the kinds of serious problems that I'm facing. And it really doesn't even, because I mean, I just had a talk with a black man on the site. You don't see a lot of them either. It's white males dominate that industry. And I'm really trying to keep my profiles separate here because I care about the public face that I put on. But where's the point where I say I know enough that I need to say something? Because a lot of people, what they do is they consider their social life going out and drinking. And for me, I don't socialize unless it involves productivity. And I spend my time doing research. And a lot of people do not do that. So I have, as a female, I have my own problems. The big topic in my research this whole week has been diversity, discrimination, racism, sexism, sexual harassment, and let me tell you right now, I think all of them are the same thing. You have people who are in a demographic of some sort, whether they be white males, whether they be all females, whether they be, you know, all black people, whether they be all Hispanic people. It doesn't matter. But there are places of privilege depending on which demographic you come from, and that's what we need to be aware about as individuals, is not allowing ourselves to be privileged when we're among the certain people. But we also do need to realize when things are going on that are not okay, acknowledge those things and find ways to address them. And I am getting really tired of the ignorant and hateful dialogue that is not productive taking place. And when it comes to victim blaming and victim shaming, that's where you have these people that are coming from the place of privilege going, sometimes your guys mess up too. But what that does is it stops us from making progress on issues where we have big number statistics, where people are getting physically hurt, murdered, and cannot survive. And that is where we need to step up and make change. And if we don't address these people who want to victim blame and victim shame, who step right in as a barrier with their own ignorance towards us making the progress on things that really do matter, whether they want to admit it or not, these people are not correct because they have not done the research. If they had done the research, if they understood the issue, they would not be engaging in that behavior. And it is the privileged groups that are causing the problem, who have a tendency to do this. People who have not been exposed to the repercussions that we have to deal with as minorities who are facing the causation, the effect of where these statistics come from when it comes to violence. And it needs to stop. And we need to be perfectly comfortable and willing to have these conversations publicly. And those people are going to pop up, but when they pop up, we need to know and be able to say, this is one of those people who are doing the victim blaming and victim shaming, and not have any tolerance for that bullshit. So I'm going to say that right now, and I'm going to say it very clearly and blatantly. That's what it is. And it's because they have not, A, been exposed, they have not experienced the problems, they're ignorant to the problems, and they don't want something to challenge their authority, whatever authority it is that they have. And the simple fact of the matter is, you know, you have the 91% campaign, which is based on facts that we have the large majority of the wealth in the United States, which is the country where I'm in, which is where I'm going to be addressing issues that take place, even though I might be talking about things that may be relevant in foreign countries and may have understanding of what's going on in foreign countries. That is the problem that we as Americans, as a global ruling power who also affect your life if you're in another country, have to deal with. And I'll tell you right now that a good chunk of those fucking people with all the money who are fucking up our lives are also from slave-owning families and have not had their privileges of having ruling power over our society revoked yet. I'm fucking sick of this shit. And you know why? You know why I'm so fucking angry? Because every day I go to work and I have to deal with this shit. Because I'm working in a different industry, and so a lot of you people don't understand what's really going on here, and I see it clear as fucking day. Oh my God, I really need to learn how to watch my mouth. I want to listen to my music right now, not go on about this shit. But I have to teach people because they're not teaching themselves. That's what's going on here. And if you want it to change, if you want fair pay, if you want your income to increase, if you want the ability to survive, if you want the cops to stop shooting at you and beating you, then you need to sit down and take responsibility for what you're fucking facing. And yes, I have a lot of appreciation for what's going on with Black Lives Matter, and I'm doing my research, and I understand that the people who are actually out there on the streets are putting their lives on the line. That is to be taken seriously. They are in serious danger of physical harm and the potential of being murdered. And you need to take that seriously too, because that's what's going on here. Y'all want to break it down with your petty rhetoric. But when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, something is going on that really matters, that involves violence, and people not wanting to have to deal with that violence anymore, whether you want to invalidate it or not. That is what is going on, and that is why they are putting themselves in danger to protect other people. I'm gonna drink my fucking coffee. So I'm sorry, you know, if you understand what's going on, or if you're looking for answers, man, the ignorant ones are really making me angry right now. And that's what they are. They're stupid. They shoot their fucking mouths off with no research. And those people do not have a right to have a say in what's going on when they don't know what's going on. And they need to be told to shut the fuck up, because they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Seems like it's like what I said. It's like what I said. You know, people who talk a lot, they're just saying what they already know. People who are quiet, they're the ones who are learning. They're gaining something. They're not just repeating themselves like a broken record like the other party. But the problem is the other party that speaks a lot but doesn't learn speaks a lot. And so we have to listen to them a lot because they don't fucking shut up. But they're not right. And that's what needs to be acknowledged. And they're doing nothing but making the problem worse. Right now, we need to stop and say this is going to stop, and it is going to stop now, and we need to get serious about it, because if you want your life to get better, that's the only way it's going to happen, especially right now. So what happened this morning? Fucking Facebook. I'm in a group. And what it is it's somebody took a screenshot of a guy, it was a woman, that was being sexually harassed by a man. And so this is among a certain personality type that's classified by the Myers-Briggs that I'm not going to mention, because I don't want to get these people harassed, because we are intellectuals and we only make up a small percentage of the population, and none of us want to put up with your bullshit if you're fucking stupid. It's a pet peeve of ours. Pretty much this guy was demanding sex. So maybe I'll come back and video edit, put that in there so you guys can see it, since I'm fucking not live right now. And what I saw was a bunch of, so somebody took it from one group and posted it in another group, and they said, hey, somebody in our group over here is having this problem, and I just want to know what you guys think about this. And what I saw was victims relating to it, saying, yeah, I've had to deal with stuff like that. And people trying to understand what's going on here. What's going on here? Why are we being treated this way? Why is this happening? And I've done my research to a certain extent. I am not the most knowledgeable person. Apparently, I'm going to have to become a hell of a lot more knowledgeable, because I've got 3 fucking issues of discrimination on my plate right now. And until I break down discrimination and figure out how to break it down, I got a serious fucking problem in my life. So I'm going to have to do a lot of research. But I have a fair enough understanding as a victim of domestic violence. So, You got women relating, I've been treated like that, so I've been treated like that, you know, what's up with this behavior? This behavior's not okay. People are relating, but then when I come on the board and I say, yeah, this behavior is not right, and think about what it means in terms of your employability, because there's a lot of us that have had to deal with this bullshit. It's not just me, and it's cross-industry. And I don't know if this is like, you know, work-related, but it is for me. Because in the end of the day, what this comes down to is it affects our ability to make money and thus survive, put food in our mouth and roof over our heads. And it's the same thing as like black people. It's systematic oppression. It is something that has been ingrained and installed into the way our society functions and into our culture, which is white male dominated, historically, took hundreds of years to get us to where we are now, which means it's not going to be simple to break this shit down because it's on a foundation of years of shit. But as soon as I pop up and say, yo, you know, this affects you not only in your personal life, but also at work. And I posted a video called Tony Porter, or called him in. And when it comes down to it, this is another thing that oppressed groups need to acknowledge is black people can tell white people all day, don't treat me this way. I don't want to be treated this way. When you treat us this way, we get shot. We get hurt. Please stop treating us this way. And as you can see already, you know, we have these racist jokes going on. Fox News, propaganda media, bullshit, fucking hogwash crap where they take a portion of real information and then mix it with lies and get people to follow what they're doing thinking it's the truth because it holds only a partial truth, so it's convincing but it's not real, and they twist it with their fucking agenda. That's why people are buying into that bullshit, because we don't all have time to sit there and do a crap ton of research as to why these things are going on. And so when somebody appears to be an authority on a subject matter, we want to listen to them. And that media corporation needs to stop what they're doing and confusing the fuck out of the public with their bullshit and creating violence in our country. But as soon as I go on that board and I say, yeah, you know, these people are violent. People who want, guys that want to talk to you like this are going to stab you to death if you don't stay the fuck away from them. Stay the fuck away from people like this, because it is a regular problem. These men have been conditioned to treat women and view women as though we are not human beings. And women have also been conditioned to behave in a certain way because we have been treated as though we are not human beings. And let me tell you what, I am a woman in construction and I pull my fucking weight. I operate equipment. I put my life on the line. I don't just push a broom. Even though some people think that's what I am capable of, there are the few that actually treat me like I'm a human being. And I am capable. And I'm strong. And I can lift. And I'm full of testosterone because I'm working out all the time, because I'm just a big female beefcake. Because that's what it takes to do the kind of work that we do. So this idea that we are not on equal terms, I have my physical, if you're from the construction industry, I'll let you know right now, I have my physical differences as a female, but I know my limitations, and it is not your place to tell me what those are. You need to ask. So let's quit playing this fucking game here. If I have a problem, I'll say so. But it is not that I am physically or mentally incapable. What you people are teaching each other is wrong. And part of the reason why we got guys thinking this shit is because you women are buying into the same load of horse crap. And it's because you know that you're pushed into a corner where you gotta sit behind a fucking desk and be the secretary. I'm trying to really just stay away from personal anecdotes because I can tell a million stories about run-ins I've had with different people. I don't want to do that, because then I'm just talking even more. But I sat there and I said, this is what's going on. These people are dangerous. They are a threat to your life. And I have looked at the murder statistics, and the #1 threat to life for women is men. Specifically, significant others murdering them. And let's not forget about all the women that are kidnapped, children, female children that are kidnapped and murdered. That this seems to be a regular occurrence in the news. But yet we don't want to fucking address it. So violence against women is a real deal. It does affect our paychecks. It affects our ability to survive. We have to raise the children most of the time. And you got these dudes running around thinking they're fucking Peter Pan and shit, spending their money on booze and wasting time. Good chunk of them have children they don't take care of. The women have to take care of them, but they're not making a big enough paycheck to do so because of wage discrimination. It does exist. I've been dealing with it for years. So, you know, you can stay on my channel if you want to get information on that, but that's not what this is about. I'm saying this is a real issue, and we need to talk about it. We need to talk about it honestly. And it's just funny because, you know, you got victims that are relating to each other, trying to identify the problem, and then I come out and I say, hey, this is a problem. This is what's going on. These people that want to act like this are a threat to your well-being. They will hurt you. They will shoot you. They will murder you. You need to stay away from them. That's when, it wasn't happening before, but that's when you get the people stepping on the board. I identify the problem. I give methods to deal with the problem. And then all of a sudden you got these fucking people popping up with the victim blaming. Yeah, well, sometimes women act like assholes. Sometimes women pursue men. You know, we date. Like, women and men go together, okay? So we date. So there's got to be, you know, this is not just about men are superior, women are superior, all men are scum, all women are scum. That's not how this works here. I'm talking about big data, big number statistics. We'll get into that later. I'm not on the computer right now. You know, you guys want to, you fucking critical sons of bitches that don't know shit, want to sit there and pick apart every fucking little imperfection in an argument because you want to seek out a reason for validation when you know that you're wrong, but what you want is to be validated. And I really just don't give a shit because you people don't fucking matter. You can't sit there and read a fucking book, then you're shit. You're shit to me. People who don't educate themselves, people who have the ability to do so and choose not to educate themselves are nothing more than trash to me. I'll say that right fucking now. I look down on that, and I look down on it strongly. I just find it interesting that when somebody wants to step in and identify the problem and blatantly provide solutions to people who are suffering, that the victim blamers, the ones who want to try to minimize the problem, because I'm doing research on fucking diversity, discrimination, racism, sexism, etc., etc., the oppressed groups, how do we deal with our problem? That this is what we have to deal with. Just so the, you know, for blacks, it's the white men coming in and saying, yeah, well, you know, black people, black on black crime, blah, 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 blah. Take responsibility and own your shit. Quit pointing the finger at other people. It's not what we're talking about here. And what they do when they step in, it's minimalizing. It's discounting. They're sitting there and they're trying to invalidate people who are addressing a valid problem. And if we don't deal with the fact that that is happening, we will not be able to address these problems. So I already promised the piece of shit that wants to challenge me on this, that when I get off of work, I will be coming home and I will be digging up mountains of fucking data that this ignorant piece of shit is just going to ignore, because people like this, they want to be validated. They're not going to listen to facts and information, and we're not going to get everybody to listen. But what we do need to do is address the problems that we're having, whether or not These motherfuckers are running around. And unfortunately, it means the people in the demographics that are causing us problems, we got to find a way to get them to participate. And I agree with Tim Wise. You know, it's not our responsibility. We're not the ones that are causing the problem. We're the ones that have to deal with the fucking problem, the repercussions of the problem. And it goes on and on and on because we have all this other shit that we have to deal with that's caused by the problem, and then we have to figure out how to get the people on top that are causing the problem to stop when they don't want to listen. He says that that's not our responsibility. I agree, but I also disagree because I cannot see how else we will get this fixed. And getting inside the heads of these motherfuckers is going to be a lot of work. But it needs to be shunned in our society when people are treating each other like shit like this. That's what I have to say. You know, realize when these people are doing this crap. Because they're ignorant. They haven't done their fucking research. And they deserve no speaking platform. We don't listen to sick people telling us what to do. Because sick people are not able to lead our tribe. Do you understand me? So I'm going to say that fucking clearly. And I want that to be understood. I'm going to come back. I'm going to address this shit. But I needed to get that off my chest. We need to sit down as a community, as a nation, and have this conversation, even though it's uncomfortable, because people want to avoid it because it's uncomfortable. All of this discrimination bullcrap. And we need to fix it, because right now, we got Nazis marching around in the streets. And you guys want to minimize the problems when somebody says something, not when they do something. When somebody's blatantly engaging in physical harm against another, when they're hitting, kicking, punching, murdering, that's when we say something. But when it comes to these fucking, what do you call it, you know, covert racism is what they call it in racism, but you know it happens in sexism too. So let's just put discrimination all in one category and figure this shit out and work together on this. And stop hating people that aren't from the same demographic. You know, I was driving in traffic yesterday and I saw a whole group of people that looked like they weren't very intelligent. Bunch of fucking college kids that look like spoiled son of a bitches. And I just took a second to analyze. Yeah, they're all white. They're all hanging out in their same demographic. And that's one of the problems I have with white people. Is, you know, they just want to hang out in their little club. It doesn't even cross their mind to socialize with people from different cultures. And as a result, they don't know how to do that. And again, I'm working in a white male-dominated industry. There's just not a lot of multicultural people around. But why is that? It's systematic. It's the things that are unsaid. And I've been making $11 an hour doing work that I should be paid $15 an hour for. I know that. That's why I've turned to the union. My first week on union job, I'm getting paid $18 an hour. $11 an hour to $18 an hour. That is not a standard jump. But I have not been receiving standard wages. And I have not been receiving livable wages. And if you know anything about the construction industry, OSHA is all over us because of death rates and injury rates that are insurmountable. And getting paid minimum wage to put my life on the line every day, I don't fucking think so. So do I need to come on here and go live and sit here and tell you guys how it is because you can't fucking see it? Because you don't educate yourselves? Is that what's going on? Because I can come back and I can say more and I can break all this shit down for you motherfuckers if that's what I need to do. Is that what my YouTube channel is going to be? I'm getting sick of this shit. And I'm not hearing constructive public dialogue. In a lot of places. I see you guys wandering around, wondering about the problem, but then you let fucking retard idiot step in and tell everybody they're stupid because retard idiot is stupid. So they would listen to the retard idiot and let the retard idiots shut down the fucking problem. And excuse me for using the language that I'm using. Yes, I'm cussing. Yes, I used a derogatory term that I've been taught. And it is hard to fucking get that shit out of your brain. So how do we do this, guys? We need to work together and shut it down.